Good evening, USA. Good evening, everybody. I'm David Hudson, president of SFT, and I'm here today with Irwin King Kong, SFT's middleweight champion. And first of all, Irwin, how are you? Good afternoon. Good evening.
Good evening. I'm fine. You?
Irwin is in Brazil. I'm in Miami, and we're talking to the world. So that's a good thing. It's been a while since I've seen you the last. It's nice to talk to you. It's nice to talk to somebody in Brazil that speaks English, which is always a plus.
Yeah. Not so good, but I try.
No, it's pretty good. You know, if we told somebody your story, if we made a movie about you, part one and part two, people would say, nah, that's a movie. Would never happen in real life. Because you have two distinct stories. One, so far, I think you're the only one in the world who's done that achievement, and the second one is amazing. So we have Rocky 1, Rocky 2, and now Rocky 3 is coming, right? King Kong 1, King Kong 2, King Kong 3. But let's start from the beginning, because you've fought and won in 5 different weight categories.
Yes. I'm the only one man in the world that is fought in 5 categories.
I mean, that's amazing. You know, I'm sure in boxing it's very, very hard. But boxing has a lot more categories. MMA, we skip a lot of the categories, so it's a huge difference. And I think a lot of people have done 3, especially as you get older, you gain weight. But let's start from the beginning. What weight category were you when you first started? And then let's go through the whole history.
Yeah. I started in bantamweight, that is 15 kilograms in Brazil. Now it's 135 bantamweight.
Bantamweight, bantamweight is 135. Yeah.
135.
I've confused the kilos with the pounds. Yeah, so you started 135.
Yeah, it's true. Then I went to featherweight after 13 fights. Yes, I did 13 fights in bantamweight. Then I did the 3 in the featherweight. Then I moved to lightweight. Then I started in mass and mass. Then I went to the welterweight. My last fight was middleweight.
So your last fight at SFT was your first time fighting in middleweight?
Yes, my first time fighting middleweight.
So I'm sure when you first started in bantamweight, you never planned. Not only am I going to be the world champion, I'm going to win in every single freaking category. How did it happen? Did you went from flyweight to bantamweight? Did you get a call last minute and you were very heavy and you couldn't lose the weight and then you just said, fuck it, let's do it? Like how did it start? Did you start going up in weight?
I always lose too much weight to get the weight in. And I started going to the next one because it was getting harder to get the weight. I always did the weight right, but to go to the next one.
You know, since the epidemic started, I've gained about 15 pounds, but it's pure fat. You know, it's like just from sitting at home and not doing anything. But you're a monster. I mean, last time I saw you, you're a monster. So if you're working out to go up in weight, was that part? Did that become goal? Like once you went to the featherweight, you said, "Oh, I've won the 3 times. Let me see how far I can go." Did you ever at some point decided to make this part of your goal?
No, I was fighting in bantamweight, but I had a loss in my career. Then I get disappointed. I stopped training a lot and continued to push weight, the muscle, the gym. And then I think, I'm going to fight it just for fun, to get to relax, to do what I like to do. But now I'm on again.
Wow. And then, so then you went from bantamweight, then you went up another weight. So you never really need to worry about losing weight, right? You just go, whatever weight I'm in, I want to take it. You don't have to I only have 3 weeks, I don't think I can lose weight. It's like, it doesn't make a difference when you don't have to kill yourself. I find that a lot of fighters probably would do a lot better if they fought at a different weight category, because it's got to take a lot out of a fighter when you're losing 10 kilos in 3-4 weeks to be able to fight.
Yeah. Usually I lost to like 15 kilos. My best takeoff of the weight was 18 kilos. But now I'm going to do the test. Do so little pounds. Let's see. I'm with 87 now. I just need to lose 3 kilos for my next fight.
Right. Speaking of next fight, yeah, congratulations. You have a fight in Aka, right? Coming up.
Yeah.
Well, so are you going up? Are you going up another weight category? Are you going to go to light heavyweight, or are you going to stick to the middleweight?
No, I will stay in middleweight. I only need to lose 3 kilos.
Oh, that's easy. And when is your fight?
And the fight is March 12th.
March 12th. Oh, wow, it's around the corner. And not only you fought in all 5 weight categories, but you've won in all 5 weight categories, which that's also an amazing feat. Now, thinking back, if you had to okay, I fought in all 5, which would be the weight? If I could start all over again, which weight category would you say this is my best? Middleweight you only did 1 fight, so it's kind of hard to tell. But from between flyweight, bantamweight, featherweight, lightweight, because the punches, I figured the bigger the people, the harder it hurts, right?
Yeah, of course. The bigger the people, the harder they hurt you. But I'm happy to do it now in middleweight. I need a reign bantamweight, get famous in Brazil, and a lot of people like me. Now it's time to be the king of the middleweight.
And you're in the right track. Which is the weight division that you fought the most at? The bantamweight? Bantamweight.
Yeah.
Marcos Babuino. He's another beast. He's 44 years old. He hasn't lost a fight, I think, in 12, 13 fights. He's the champion. He started his career really bad. And then he came to the US to do a fight, and he was a little overweight. He went down the category just to see what would happen, and then he never lost again. So I'm sure there's a lot of fighters out there who just tweaking that could be the difference between being a champion and not being a champion. For you, it doesn't make a difference, but as you see, like Babuino, he was losing most of his losses in his career was in the first 10 fights of his career. At 44, usually it's the opposite. Usually when people are 44, they're coming from 10 losses. He's coming from 16 losses. He had a 4-year interval where he never lost a fight. So I think that it's worth the amateurs especially trying different weight categories, right? What do you think?
I think the power is in the mind, but what can I say? I'm sorry for.
Quer falar português em português and I translate?
Tipo, é difícil lutar em várias categorias, né? Mas eu prefiro testar em várias e sentir que eu posso do que ficar só em uma, né?
Certo. Yeah, so you want to really prove the world you're the motherfucker. You're the best motherfucker. Doesn't matter the weight category, doesn't matter when you call me, doesn't matter who you put in front of me. I'm ready, I'm coming, and I'm going to get you. And you're 32 years old, so I think we can still, few years in middleweight, then go to light heavyweight. Because as we get older, we tend to gain more weight as well. You think you see yourself trying the light heavyweight at some point?
Of course, I want to do it, but let me see how it's going to be the middleweight. First, I want to try the light heavyweight.
Right.
That I have. Let's see where I go.
So Rocky 1, the first movie is finished. We talked about, now is a sequel, Rocky 2. 1 year without fighting. You get a call from Crazy Magnum, I think 4 days or 3 days before the fight, at middleweight, and you've never fought at middleweight, and you said yes. Who got the phone call? You got the phone call? Your agent got the phone call? What was the thought process at the time?
I received the phone call, and in the moment I thought, it was the best guy in Brazil that everybody was afraid. But I know that I have a surprise, and I went there and did it right.
I remember. I'm fairly new to MMA in Brazil. I live in the States, so I have no idea who you were. Sorry. I remember at the weigh-in when you showed up with the tiny little shorts, which I found out later you used it for the welterweight. And when you stood up next to Soldado, I looked at Magno and go, "Fudeu, cara. He's gonna lose like it's gonna be maybe one round. Do you think he can make it to the second round? Look at the difference in size. I mean, Jesus Christ, what's happening here?" And Magno, "Oh, I don't say, David. I don't know what we did here." So it really was amazing. But do you want to talk a little bit about you had an amazing career. Why did you take the 1 year off? What was the reason for you to stop fighting?
I was studying gastronomy, and I have a son that he was very young. So I wasn't with the carry on in my life. I stopped that. I was taking care of my gym, taking care of my family. I have a business that I make popcorn, gourmet popcorn. So I was taking my life like this.
Because you left, you were coming from, you had won 4, 5 of your last 7 fights. So I mean, you were still at the top of your career, and it's a good thing you won your last fight because he wouldn't have called you if you lost your last fight. Because we wanted someone to, we at SFT we want people to fight at least 2 or 3 fights, but we're still new. But so you won your last fight. That's why you got the phone call. So then okay, so you get the call, and obviously you're a little bit overweight at this point. Right, because there's no way. So if the fight would have been welterweight, you probably would have said no, just because it was the right day, at the right time, and the right weight. I'm guessing, right? Well, because you only time to you didn't have time to lose weight, so it had to be middleweight.
Yes, it has to be middleweight. The fight, I did to in the middleweight.
It's like you just never know the tomorrow. I've spoken about this a little bit. I went through a really bad phase in my life not long ago, like 3 years ago. I mean, I thought about the worst of the worst, like it's done. And next thing I know, I'm here. And it's like you haven't fought in a year, and then you have a kid, and it's like, well, how am I going to pay the bills? You get a phone call, the right weight category on the right day. Imagine if you weren't home that day. We had no time. We couldn't have left a message. Oh, let's see if he calls me back tomorrow. We had 48 hours for the fight to go.
Yeah.
René Soldado, the one middleweight in Brazil, was going to fight with Balbi, and something happened. And something happened with 3 days before, and he dropped out. So, if he didn't answer the phone, we had to make the next phone call. So, really, God was with you. He made sure you answered the phone. You didn't let it go. Oh, I don't conheço esse número. Let the machine answer, right? So,
I was in the right time, in the right. Aqui no Brasil fala, estava no lugar certo na hora certa.
Yeah, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, and it's like they say in English, location, 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 for business. Basically, you had the location, you were home, and you were in the right weight, so you had the location, and you came in. So you come in, and I'm looking at my Magnum, and I go, oh my God, if Soldado wins in 30 seconds, this is the title means nothing, and I want my belts to be worth something, because a lot of promotions worldwide in Brazil they'll bring someone who's never fought to fight against someone who's never won, and they'll make it a title fight. Just happened this past weekend, which is like, I don't understand that. So really, I couldn't. If I would have won in the first round, would have been against everything we say. And even the commentators, if you watch the first round, even when you start doing better, the commentators are still like, oh my God, Soldado, because nobody in the world expected for you to make it past the first round. So you walk in, the fight starts first round. Are you nervous? Are you like, I've got nothing to lose? Like, I can win this. I hope I don't lose fast. Like, what was going on through your mind right now?
I never enter in anything with the I've already lose my mind. I always think that they can. And I did it. It was my day. I entered the cage and said, this is my day. I will knock out him. I walked every time in forward, and did the right.
Yeah, it not only you got 48 hours, you fought against number one, and as we see, he went to Russia and he won a fight just recently, and it's not easy for Brazilians to go to Russia and win. So we know he's a really good fighter. That this is not. He's just not happens to be number one in Brazil by luck. He's a good. And you went so first round finishes. The first round he was a little bit ahead, but the first round you guys are even. So now do you get really pumped like, oh man, I know I believe in myself, but I really now I see I can win. What was talked about between you and your corner at the end of the first round?
He said that I was taking too much leg kicks. He said, you need to go forward and get in the cage. Na grade, how do I say it?
He was holding you at the cage.
Holding in the cage and do it with menor distância, manter menor distância.
Keep the distance. Right.
Yeah. And I started doing that, and I saw that it was working. Was feeling my punch. Everything goes okay in the moment, so that they did that.
What's impressive is like he was shorter than Soldado, and you would go in, you would hit him, and you would come back, and Soldado couldn't hit you, and it's like that's not normal. That you should be getting hit every time, and you should be the one having a tough time getting him, but you were able to go in and out. I mean, I was impressed. Listen, whoever didn't watch this fight, guys, you gotta watch it because it's by far the best fight of 2020, by far one of the best fights in SFT, and by far one of the best fights anyone ever seen in their lives, because this is truly the number one in Brazil. Giant Soldado against King Kong, the gorilla. Chinese, hadn't fought for 1 year, comes in, and then he lasted 5 rounds.
Yeah.
Like, well, you disappointed. Go ahead.
And I find a knockout in the 5 rounds. That's the great.
Yeah, and that's why I say it's a movie, because it was 5 rounds, and it was in the last 20, 30, I think it was like 20 seconds to go, 30 seconds to go in the 5th round. It was at the end of the 5th round where you knocked him out.
Yeah.
It's almost like, okay, you did it on purpose. I can knock him down in the 4th round. You know what? I'm going to play around with him. Let's wait to the 5th round and get him back. Because I couldn't believe he was standing up. Were you at some point say, what the hell, he doesn't go down?
Yeah, I thought it many moments in the fight. I did very good punches on him, but he continues the standing position. It was a crazy night. The 5th round, I connected a hand and he fell. But yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah, because I remember by the time the 3rd round came around, I go, oh my God, this is going to be amazing, because this is a title fight. It's gonna go to the end. But even though you're dominating, we know that all it takes is a punch to finish. So when you're at any point, it's like, come on, this guy's got to go down. I mean, it's time to finish this fight. I mean, I know I'm winning, but you just never know. It's like, did you get frustrated at any point, or you like that never crossed your mind that he would have it? Because é uma mão que entra e acabou, né?
Yeah, my coach said in the 5 rounds, be jealous, egoísta? Yes.
Como?
Egoísta.
Oh, yeah, be selfish.
I need to be selfish because I won 4 rounds, 3 rounds. He said, be selfish, don't go. The Soldado came into me and he wanted to decide the fight that moment. And I let it go.
Because I think most people in that situation, the 5th round, would just back up. You clearly won the 3 rounds. The 1st round, it's up in the air, but 2, 3, and 4, you won. Why take any chances? I mean, you're halfway through the 5th round. I clearly won this round. You could have backed up and take it easy. Nobody would have said anything against that, because, again, like I said, all it takes is one hand. One slip, one blink, one sneeze. So, but no, you never backed up. You were like as if it was the 1st round, and you were like a tank coming for the finish.
Yeah, it was the golden goal, and I did it.
Yeah. No, I thank you. I thank Soldado. I mean, this is I know, and what really hurts, we started the year so good. You know, that was in that event I announced SFT USA, Brazil versus USA at the casino here. Charles Bronx fought at that event. We were sold out. There were 500 people outside. Arena packed. 5 rounds. Amazing. And then, pew! Everything stops. Your career obviously took a big jump because here you're winning and you're winning on national television, and then you got a special phone call the next day, right? Like you got a phone call from for commercial. What was that about?
Yeah, I did a commercial for McDonald's like 1 week after. Yeah. Everything in my life gets better after that fight. My sponsors, my gym, my whole life.
I'm sure. And then the pandemic came around, and here we go again. 1 year, no fights.
Yeah.
And then when we finally got permission, we were able to squeeze in an event. You get sick. No, you get sick. You got injured, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you were supposed to defend the title back in December against Camelo. Was the gorilla versus the Camelo, the camel. And unfortunately, something happened. You couldn't fight, and then it was so disappointing. And again, it's like history repeating itself. Kleber Souza, last minute, he was available, and Kleber Souza wins. And then there was, I like the trash talk that you guys have been doing. You know, it's been clean, but it's been a fun trash talk. Is it something you've always done in your career, or something you've learned more now towards the late career?
I like to do this because many guys get in their mind. In Chiba, where I live, I always do this. People they get angry with me, get nervous, and that is my favorite in the day of the fight.
Yeah, I think it's good for the sport as long as we keep it clean. Some people take it over the limit and it gets really nasty, but you guys are doing a good job. And by coincidence, now that you're going to be defending your title against Kleber Souza, you're both going to fight at ACA. He has a fight there next week.
He's going to fight Friday, yeah.
Yeah.
And he's going to fight a guy that loses for my opponent there.
Oh, really? Also, the guy you're going to be fighting, so it's like a big family event.
Here. He's going to fight a guy that already lose for the guy that I fight.
So if you win, he for sure has to win. 100% he has to win because the guy lost to the guy that lost to you, so you have to win. You know, I'm really hoping that you guys both come back with a victory, which is going to be like Brazil. Now in Brazil is the best. SFT is the best. No one can mess with SFT.
Yeah, that's what I hope too. And it's going to happen because Kleber Souza is a very strong guy. I think that he's going to be okay there.
You know, he's a very smart fighter. I find it. Yeah, I find it like maybe sometimes a little too safe and too smart, but at least I think that he's gonna have a good strategy. And I know you're a beast, so there's no question in my mind you're gonna win this fight. And you guys are gonna come back from Russia and from the cold of Russia, and hopefully in the heat of Brazil we'll have another event. So those kids that April, it's really tough right now. It's such a shame what's going on in Brazil. You know, when I started SFT, I go, it's amazing that I'm from Brazil. Outside the United States, there's no better place in the world to have MMA. Now, there's no better place in the world worse than Brazil to have MMA. The whole world can do events. In Brazil, we can't.
Yeah. Here in my town, there is having one for a week. Every week has one, but only the TV, talking people, fighting with the mask in the.
But they're having events in your town, but is it clandestine or it's like they're allowed to do it?
Yeah, it's allowed to do.
Really? Huh.
Every week have. Next week is going to have the event from Crystal Borg has an event here all along.
So SFT could do an event in your city?
I believe that they do.
Because there's allowed to or not allowed to. Like there's small events in São Paulo, but no one's going to do anything to the small guys. You remember what happened to us 4 months before this other event? We had the permission and they shut us down the Friday night before because we are the big guys. We're on TV, so we are the example. So we got to be really careful. But I'm going to look into it, find out. Because I need my coxinha, I need my guaraná, and I need to see my fighters in action.
Yeah.
How has it been? If your talent is back to fighting, so work to training is no big deal. The gyms are all back to normal. People are working out every day. You're in shape. You've been practicing without a problem.
I'm training every day, but they say that we have to train for mass and everything, but not having a physicalization. I don't know how to say it.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I'm taking care. All my partners already get the COVID, but I didn't. And I'm training until I can.
that's good. Do you feel yourself, because like when you fought SFT, you went a year without fighting. Now you're also a year without fighting. Do you find yourself today in better shape than you were a year ago when you came to fight SFT?
I'm training every day. I'm getting strong every day. Esse gas, stamina, my energy every day gets better. But give a good show for them there.
That's good. And how's your son already practicing? Already giving a little bit like a baby weight knockouts?
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, you have a beautiful kid. It's so cute. I love watching. I love watching you guys together. I love to see MMA fighters acting like a real dad and playing these little city games, because it feels like people feel like eu não sou macho se eu mostro isso. You know, and then I remember Anderson Berinja, who was our commentator. We became very good friends because early on he posted an video on Instagram with his daughter putting makeup on him, and I always had my daughter putting makeup on me, and I thought, my God, he is a UFC fighter putting makeup on. This is crazy. So we became easily friends. So I love to see that. You know, we need to be who we are. We are parents. There's no shame in playing with our kids, and I don't understand people. I used to be criticized for that. Para ser isso, ser bicho, uma coisa. No, it's playing with my daughter. Seriously, be secure.
Yeah, there's no problem.
Yeah. So I love seeing that. Well, anyway, so listen, it was amazing talking to you. This is gonna stay on YouTube and then Facebook. So I need people to watch this. We're gonna promote this the hell out of it. You know, the SFT USA has been quiet lately, so I'm gonna start promoting it. But it's a story everybody needs to know. We need to make a movie about you eventually. You know, I'm from the film business. That's what we did for my company. Primarily is a film business. I did it my whole life. My father, my brother, still does that. So maybe win a couple of belts, then move to heavyweight. And when you win your heavyweight, then you become a coach, and then we make a movie about your life. And your son can play you.
I need to write a book there.
Yeah. All right, people. So this is we're going to be back in about 15 minutes in Portuguese for those who want to watch it again in Portuguese. Same story, different language. Peace out.